Welcome everyone to ShipFaced. This is my new YouTube channel where I'll regularly be discussing ocean liners. So grab a drink, relax, and let's get started. Shout out to the Etsy shop, The Roller 3D, for producing this beautiful Titanic model. Please see credits at the end. Transitioning to the real Titanic, in 1912, in the middle of April, at 11:40 p.m., she struck an iceberg and sank. 2 hours and 20 minutes after the collision, she went down in everybody's hearts and will be forever remembered as the most famous shipwreck in history. But what many people don't know, as you can see here, is that she was not alone. White Star Line wanted to answer Cunard's call to action. Cunard Line, White Star Line's greatest competitor for North Atlantic supremacy, had been establishing themselves as the dominant superpower with the success of Lusitania and her sister Mauretania. White Star Line, therefore, decided to order 3 gigantic liners, and yes, that is a pun, because the third of the 3 was named Gigantic, and later changed, because of superstition, to Britannic. We'll cover that later. But, as you can see, Titanic drew thousands of onlookers at every stage of her completion. She was smashing headlines in gross tonnage, length, breadth, which means width, draft, which means how much of the ship is under the water while floating, and also, as I hope you can see, her beauty. Funnily enough, one small known fact is that a mistake was made in calculating the height of her funnels. Seen here are the tawny, yellow, and black-capped smokestacks. First of all, the fourth one is a dummy to apply extra ventilation to the insanely smoky boiler rooms. But the second funnel, second one towards the stern from the front, was actually 5 feet shorter. By the time this was noticed, the funnel had already been installed, and it was deemed too much of an expense to redo that work. One of her many charms was that she wasn't perfect, but she was beautiful. Sir Thomas Andrews ensured every detail. He said it takes 3 million rivets and a lot of sweat to make a fine ship, and make a fine ship he most certainly did. On April 10th, 1912, Titanic's whistle blared 3 times, which signified the beginning of her maiden voyage. Crowds gathered and cheered, waving goodbye to their families, excited to see the biggest ship in the world leaving the dock to begin her maiden voyage. However, Titanic left the dock earlier than normal due to the excitement, and left behind crew members, equipment, such as stokers for the boiler rooms, engineers, and distress rockets. All of those things would come into effect later. And minutes later, disaster would strike, in the most ironic of ways possible. As Titanic was towed away from Southampton Harbor towards the English Channel, Captain Smith noticed something was about to happen. SS New York, ironically named after Titanic's destination she never reached, snapped her mooring lines and had drifted towards Titanic, almost causing a collision. The whole fiasco took well over an hour and a half, not only delaying the ship's maiden voyage, but marking it in the most dark way possible for some passengers. It was an ill omen, and as we all know now, an accurate one. Wrapping up today's episode, I decided to include the last 2 known pictures ever taken of Titanic. This was the last time Titanic made landfall. She left moments after this picture was taken, heading out to sea, bound for New York. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Please remember to like and subscribe, and tune in next week for the next episode of ShipFaced.